front kitchen. I barely know him. Hey, welcome everybody. Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at, where am I at? Cherokee. Oh my God. Forest River, Cherokee today. Need the caffeine. I haven't been able to see this model in Black Label Edition. They just updated the Black Label Edition a little bit. They have a couple other fancy things on here. And I said, perfect time to get down here and get everybody some footage. So this is historically, classically, through the history of the RV industry, front kitchens like this, always very popular. They kind of fizzled out slightly for a little bit around 2015-ish, and then all of a sudden, they became super popular again, and I get it. Now, Cherokee has been doing some crazy things with gigantic looking windshields on the front of this. It's a giant pane of, dual pane bonded glass. Two sheets of glass laminated together, just like a windshield, effectively. But on the inside, it's not quite as big as it looks on the outside, but man, does it catch your attention. Now, I could also see some people being concerned about it potentially catching rocks in transit. I think that's a fair concern. I think that this is an RV that would probably best be used, partially as a result, more as a destination kind of RV. The thing here is we get that big living room super slide. They've got nice countertop space. The Black Label Edition we're looking at today, giving us all sorts of smexy, shiny shoes upgrades, fiberglass skin, all kinds of extra lighting. What do I want to say? Solid surface countertops, but these will all have things like holding tank heat pads, which is cool. You've got the Bluetooth backup camera on the back, the big XL vent fan also in the bathroom, and a super hard to find private rear bedroom. RVs used to always have rear bedrooms, and then slide outs happened and put too much weight on the front of them for more RVs to carry. So this one just kind of says, yeah, well, who cares? We're going to do a rear bedroom anyway, even if the hitch weight's a little bit higher. So keep that in mind. And if you appreciate little details like that, positives and negatives, both ways, hit that subscribe button. Let's get inside there because it's just kind of a fun one.
One of the things I talk about in my videos a lot is how every RV's greatest asset is also its greatest liability. I just try to be fair about pointing stuff out. The things that make this RV cool are also the things that make it irksome. And that sounds confusing, but I'll get there. Mostly it has to do with the slide system that we're looking at here. First of all, though, the front kitchen. Today, since we're in a Black Label Edition, we're getting solid surface countertop everywhere, which is kind of cool. They do obviously a pretty hefty level change down for that sink. I think that's so they can probably, I don't know, have more buffer to place that windshield. I don't know. Fact is, I don't know why they do that. I only have estimations. The RV doesn't have awesome campside window coverage, but the front windshield, kind of like we're seeing the forklift driver roll through, does give you some pretty good frontal coverage right here. There's actually a part of me that sort of wishes that cabinet just wasn't there. And I just had all the front counter space possible. Because this RV does have another big pantry, but to be fair, it's not like right in the kitchen. So maybe it is pretty useful to have there. I don't know. It's just, like I said, there's part of me that wants it there. There's part of me that doesn't. I don't know. The thing is, you see fiberglass, you usually think laminated sidewall. And that means typically you can't put power outlets against a sidewall right where you want them. You don't have that problem here. Because this is actually still a stick-built camper. This is what I call stick and slick construction. We'll talk more about that outside. They're able to give us extra overhead cabinet space because we don't have a propane oven. That allows them to put an electric 3-in-1 oven down below the propane stovetop. They also do some kind of cool things over here in this kitchen in terms of storage. They generally use the space really well. A lot of the RVs that Cherokee is making, having this extra large drawer that opens up like a wastebasket actually is really useful. But in this floor plan, it means I only have one functional drawer in a very kitchen-focused model. Thankfully, they gave us a workaround. Watch that bottom drawer. It can just become a drawer again. The wastebasket and the little, I don't know, holder, placer, spacer guide, you can just move them, take them out, do whatever. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that they let me kind of set it up the way that works best for me. It occurs to me, I mentioned how we have more overhead cabinet space, and then I never actually showed it on camera, especially after I took all the time to open it. All the time. I say all the time like, it took me 5 years to open that cabinet. No, it didn't. It wasn't even a big deal. All right, whatever. Anyway, you get the idea. Now, I will say, the cool thing is, again, they give you all the space. The tricky thing is, it's quite deep in some areas. So you're going to need to plan your storage accordingly because sometimes that stuff can be a little tricky to get to. Now, they stuck with their big, full, true U dinette. So this is a very kitchen and dining focused floor plan with just enough entertainment. You might notice though it's a pedestal leg two-step or well, knee knocker, not two-stepper. I'm stupid. It's a step up slide. That's one of the best and the worst qualities of this RV. That allows this RV to ride on a lighter weight chassis. It saves a lot of weight and a lot of cost, but it also means that you have a small step up slide. And some people really don't like that, and some people really don't care. Spinning around from the other direction, I mean, not that you need to know this, but basically half cheeking it up here on the kitchen counter. These are full extension dinette access drawers. Now, the back side of the U-dinette, you still got to take the cushions and everything apart to get to it. So, you know, don't put your daily silverware back there and it'll probably be okay. These things don't have any sort of like office drawer style ball bearing runner glides. They're too big. You know, they would weigh too much. You can put too much in them. So, yeah, they stick way out here and it looks funny, but at least you can access everything. Now, a lot of times there's actually storage below the sofas over here, but because it's a step-up slide, the bottom of that slide is basically sitting on the floor. The bottom of the sofa is basically sitting on the floor of the slide. Oh, too many words. That's the catch-22 about I don't run scripted material. You know, I'm sure it didn't take you a lot to figure out that I literally don't think before things come out of my mouth. My wife learned that very quickly and still chose to marry me. Then again, I did bribe her with a very large, shiny object on her finger. But it gets us into some interesting areas, but it also gets me into some stupid spots, too. As you probably noticed, no television standard in these. That wall, that whole entertainment sliding privacy wall is just kind of prepped there. But inside here, we've got some big pantry area. Now, up top, you've got plenty of shelf space and whatnot. You might notice, though, it doesn't go all the way down. On the inside of the RV, you'd kind of be hands and knees down there to get to that stuff, but that's an outside camp kitchen. I had a thought looking at this, though, and that's a scary proposition. But if I'm looking at this correctly, I think that if you get some of those, like, plastic broom holders, I think you could probably put like a Swiffer or some stuff here. I think you could probably get some extra use out of that. By the way, this is a 15,000 BTU central air. I should have pointed that out sooner. The RV's also got a conventional 6.5 foot ceiling height. It's not a super duper extra tall. Now, if you feel the magic in the air and you feel like going to Smurfland, it does have just an insanely powerful blue light over that slide. It's a bit much for me, but I don't know. Maybe some people really enjoy that. Now, the pantrytainment door wanted to close itself, so I kind of used the jackknife sleeper sofa to hold it, and I realized there actually is a little bit of storage down there. It's not massive. Maybe some blankets. You know what else that could be good for? Holding a Monopoly board or board game, basically board games. You could put small, thin, flat stuff in there, like pancakes under your sofa. And if you don't keep pancakes under your sofa, do you even camp, bro? Like, I don't even know what to say to people like that. Anyway, moving on. By the way, I got a question for you. They have very minimal window treatments in this. And in fact, this window shade has no covering whatsoever. Like, you're just looking straight at the shade. It doesn't really bother me. Like, are manufacturers overthinking it and spending a lot of time and effort on stuff that nobody cares about? Like, I'm not a guy who's always looking for a way to nickel and dime an RV. The industry does that enough. But, like, I also, I don't like the giant boxy valances and stuff. I kind of like just the ease and simplicity of that. Now, you might notice the cabinetry styling changes a little bit when we get to this bedroom. And frankly, a private rear bedroom is just so exceptionally rare. They also have a really weird bed in this. It's an Olympic RV Queen, 66 wide, 74 long. So Olympic Queen, 66 wide, 80 inches long. Residential True Queen is 60 by 80. This is some weird short RV version of it. There is room down here. You want to put an 80-inch long bed? You totally can. There's, of course, storage below the bed. Like, all that stuff is normal. And this RV is rocking around like crazy. Somebody on the steps outside. It's just the wind. Oh, my gosh. The wind has picked up like crazy. I'm glad we're indoors. Anyway, sorry. You see you've got your hanging closet over here. Over on this side, you do have a, this is a single point mini inverter brick. So if you're at a park, it just works like normal outlets. If you're boondocking, that can pull up to 150 watts off your battery. And you can do things like, it's not a lot. That's a very small inverter, but it's just enough to run like a lot of CPAP machines and stuff like that. They don't usually need a lot of juice. Because the back end of this is square, that's huge. Wow, cool. Now, it doesn't hold itself up, but that's big storage. Anyway, sorry, the inverter. Keep in mind, though, when you do that, when you're pulling 150 watts off a 12-volt source, you're going to drain it pretty quick. You're going to drain batteries fast. I stumbled into this earlier on another model. They also basically hid a drawer over there. I kind of like that. I kind of like that a lot, actually. It would be cool if they put a window over here, but they don't, so it doesn't matter. The doors do have full windows. They are privacy shade prepped. We are ready. I guess you could almost call that prepped. Also for a TV across from the bed. Now, this is a dual entry bed and bath, as you can see right here. The toilet space is fantastic. What's cool about this is if you do have somebody, a guest sleeping over, and keep in mind that gigantic U-dinette can fit a larger person than most front kitchen sleepers will offer you, you're going to be good to go. You might notice, though, I got that weird twitch going on, thankfully. We got that big XL vent fan up top. I have no idea what that has to do with the twitch. I was hoping my brain would connect some sort of dots that weren't there, but instead, I just sound dumb. You may notice, though, you've got a bit of a peekaboo, I smell you bathroom door situation going on. It's because of that big vent fan. If you didn't have the gaps at the top of that door, with the bigger fan like this, you can actually cause so much airflow that you can pull some of that black tank stank up and accidentally, fumigate yourselves, which is bad. Okay. It's bad. Okay, Mr. Mackey. Haven't done my Mr. Mackey South Park voice in a while. The vessel sink, I feel like it eats into the counter space a little bit. I could be wrong. That's also a very large medicine cabinet. That's like classic Forest River stuff that Cherokee has maintained and a lot of brands just kind of forgot. This is a radius shower floor plan, and it's conventional 6.5-foot ceiling height. And because the Black Label Edition gets that crazy shower hardware with the belly blaster, car washer, undercarriage sprayer, /ear sprayer telephone handle. You get the idea of this weird thing. I really couldn't even stick my head in the skylight. So this shower is potentially problematic for people. I don't love that. But I don't have to love it. It just has to be true. And I want to shoot you straight and be fair with you folks and let you know what's what and let you make decisions on how you want to spend your money. Now, I was really curious. I discovered something with the road mode here. Like, I'm standing at the door with the slide closed to help you get your bearings a little bit. So you walk in the door, you can get to the sink, most of the counter space. The cabinet over there behind the slide might be a little tricky. This is a Norco Exact slide. One of the benefits of that is that if you actually want to use any of the sleeper seating in the slide while it's retracted, you can. Most slide systems won't allow you to do that. You can obviously get to the refrigerator easily, but you see that we can get into the bathroom as well. One of the other things with this slide system, it's not as deep. So as long as, the caveat here, is you leave the bathroom door open and secure it, because otherwise it's going to flap and bang into stuff, you actually can get full front-to-back travel access in this, which is very, very cool. Ooh. So, not too terrible. I'm not even sure. I mean, I guess the second door can be handy. I don't know. How do you feel? Now, I'm going to let you know, I'm going to show you 2 sets of weights and measures. We did that at the start of the video. I'm doing it again right here because you can get this RV 2 ways. And it adds enough difference in weight, which reduces your cargo capacity potentially by the same amount, that I want you to really get all the information possible so that you know, depending on which version you're looking at, you know what the specs are. Historically, that's not something that was very easy to display, but Forest River has actually made it very, very simple to understand the specs between the two. Again, giant hunk of glass on the front of this thing. It's not a
full windshield. That would be a crazy looking windshield, but it's not quite that. The awning is not bad. I just wish it was 2 feet longer just to encompass that rear bedroom door. I think that would have been very, very cool. The front kitchens are not known for having great front pass-through compartments, but again, most RVs historically were rear bedrooms, so front pass-through compartments are not something that an RV necessarily has to have. This one has a large rear pass-through compartment, and actually made larger this year. We'll get back there in a second. It actually has a rear drop frame, which is super wacky and uncommon. The power stabilizer jacks have actually also become a standard issue piece of equipment this year. Those are a little more visible. Something that is not visible, though, I don't know that a lot of people realize Cherokee is even doing this. They have holding tank heat pads standard on everything they make, basically including even like wolf pups. They're just I don't know of really any other stick and tin builder who's even talked about doing that. I could be missing something. I don't claim to know every single build from every single manufacturer, but that's kind of a cool thing. The little camp kitchenette out here, it does also include a removable griddle top for that grill. But obviously when that griddle top is on there, you won't be able to slide it shut. Now, you see the little leaf hanging out over there that actually flips over the other direction, so also you can slide it shut. We got the little mini fridge outdoors, the ice maker, apparently green light blinking at us. Then basically a hot cold outside utility shower. 1, handy for a little campsite cleanup. 2, useful for getting water in that ice maker. My understanding is as long as you got that 110 power to run that thing and you got water, you pretty much got ice. There's something on this RV I think they really need to take a second look at, though. They added a rear drop frame because they decided that they were going to have drop frame storage compartments, which is fine. That's actually really cool. I mean, we have tons of storage capacity in here now. Here's the thing. This whole area hangs out at the very back of the RV. So when the RV bounces, it will more likely tail scrub. And they put that rear stabilizer on the bottom of it. And good news, I actually have a pretty good relationship with the fella over the whole Cherokee stuff, and I sent him a picture of this thing not too far off the ground. I said, I feel that is concerningly low. And he goes, love that you pointed that out. I don't know how, but we'll do something to fix it. So keep in mind when these things go into production, hopefully they don't have that little challenge. Perhaps, because at the time that I'm recording this, it is when the 26s are basically being figured out before they go into official production. By the time this video releases, the 26s will definitely be in full swing production, and you'll see them at dealerships. At the time I'm recording this, it's like a month ahead of when that even begins. So it is possible that they may build one of these, look at it, go, uh-oh, we got to fix something. So before you have a panic attack, check how they actually look in stock. Hopefully they have made some alterations. If not, I don't know that I would really recommend this RV for any sort of significant towing application, although I already feel this RV is going to be best used in a destination use function because of the giant hunk of glass on the front. Tail scrubbing every time you pull into a gas station does not seem fun. Big windows on here. They are frameless and they tilt open in a somewhat jowlessy fashion. I don't know if people even remember what jowlessy windows are anymore, but they tilt open, basically. And look at the reflectivity on this skin. It's not just a fiberglass upgrade. It is an extreme high gloss. But you notice there's a little bit of a warble in that fiberglass in the reflection when I walk around. This is what's called hung glass. This RV always, doesn't matter which version of this RV it is, has a stick-built frame, a wood skeleton. The Black Label package adds fiberglass on top of that wood skeleton, which offers a lot of cool benefits. It also adds weight to the RV because behind the fiberglass you also have dual-leaved offset Luan, basically 3/8 plywood. So you've added a 3/8 sheet of plywood all the way around this. You've added a lot of weight. But that also means that if you camp in hail country, this thing kind of has a suit of armor very well suited for keeping the RV from looking like Woody Woodpecker had his way with it. And whether it's the standard series with the blue and white tin skin or the Black Label Smexy Pants Shiny Shoes edition that we're looking at today, I will leave you one link to rule them all in the video description, where it doesn't matter which version of it we have in stock or where it is, you'll be able to see it. If we have it in stock, you'll get to see where it is, what the general price tag is on that unit, well, the specific price tag, not even generally, and yeah, we don't do hidden fees either. I felt like there was something else I was going to add there, and then I didn't have anything else to add. So, I'm going to wrap this up. I'll leave you some links also down there to check out some similar builds from other companies. And if you appreciate how we get down here for you, hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. I don't know why I bob my head when I say that.